What is up, beautiful people? This is Small Hat Chris for the Small Hat Group. I have with me today a very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let them know why you're here today.
So my name's Tyrone. I recently just played in the online treasure cup for OCE, and this is my Sakazuki deck that I came 23rd with.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I have so many questions. I guess I'll save them though. Let's just go ahead and go through the deck. Let us see what the list looks like. So go for it.
First off, I'll just show you my 2Ks because I run a lot of 2Ks.
Okay, I'm guessing 16.
Got 14 2Ks, so 2 Sengokus.
Gotcha.
I got 4 Toshigis.
Okay, 4 Toshigi.
4 Gar, 4 Tsuru. So I run these 2Ks. I know a lot of black players like to play some of these.
Right.
I definitely don't try and play these at all.
So these are literally just 2Ks to you? You don't care about anything
these
else?
These are pure, if I'm playing them, I'm in a desperate situation.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, these are just all straight defense.
Okay.
I got my free cost, free helmet post.
Oh, I see. Alright.
Okay, so these I only play off trigger. If I draw into them, they're never getting played. 1k counter.
Gotcha. Well, so I actually have a question then. So if they're going to be countered 99% of the time, and they're only coming out off of trigger, and you don't really have like a way to consistently get them in trigger, then how come you don't just run 2 more 2Ks over the helmet bows?
It was off the trigger. This guy, he just helps me in so many ways. If I get him off the trigger.
Gotcha. All right, so we're banking on the trigger. So we're going for that high roll.
Banking on the trigger. This is my trigger.
Gotcha.
5k swing. It's all good.
Is it just one Kobe? Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
Nah, 4 Kobe. Need 4 Kobe.
Okay, of course.
This guy, I try not to use him too early, you know.
Yeah.
I really want to use this guy when Sakazuki or when Tank Drop is out. He is my MVP.
Oh god, I hate this card.
This guy's my MVP into Zoro.
Wow, so the Garp interviewed a Garp player recently that made top 32, and he said the same thing. I don't get it.
You can sneak in for lethal at 3 to 2 life. They'll never see it coming.
Really? Even by him being established and he doesn't have rush, so...
Yeah, I mean, this guy can just shoot them down to life.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Take their life running real quick, and then just put them into a panic mode.
That's true too. You put him on the board, he's sticking. He's guaranteed making it to the next round no matter what against red.
Yeah. He just stays there. He's solid. And the other MVP against red is this guy.
Yeah.
Borsellino.
Yeah, that one's a lot more obvious. That one kind of speaks for itself. Borsellino might just be the best blocker in the game right now. Basically
makes your leader 6k, forces Zoros to just swing at you for 6k every single time.
So, I know, because there was a Smoker player that made top 8 very recently, and he said he goes on the aggressive and he swings with his Borsellino against red. The Gart player said the same. Gart player being Diego. Do you when you play against red, do you actually swing with your Borsellino, or do you just sit on it?
I don't know. To the end. I try and get as many Borsellinos out there, and then once I hit with Smoker, everything on my field is swinging.
Okay, gotcha. Makes sense.
I try and keep him on the field. If he really does need to defend or attack, he does. But I very rarely attack with him.
Okay.
Unless I'm versing like black.
Yeah. It's a lot more standard, a lot more of a reserved answer that I was. Because I always like hearing about people going pure aggro with their Borsellinos. I don't know. I just think it's funny.
Yeah. For little Kuzans, this guy is basically just draw.
Yeah.
That's all I use him for.
Really?
If he sticks around, he sticks around for the next turn, double win. But black has a real draw problem, so I just use him for draw, really. If he stays on the field, he stays on the field. That's a double bonus. I always swing with him. I don't care if he dies.
So you said you never really play your 2Ks? And I remember speaking to Diego, again, the Garp player, and he was saying, like, if he has 2K Garp in his hand, and he has the Kuzan, he likes to play the Garp on turn 1, and then next turn he likes to play the Kuzan, because the Kuzan will lower whatever and Garp will pop, and it forces them to have an answer to it.
I used to play like that, but too inconsistent. You try and do that play, and then they just remove it one turn, and then now you have a play in your mind that can't be executed. Next card is 2 Garp. 2 5-cost Garp.
So you do play the guard.
Yeah, I play him for, good extra removal. Suedo blocker has to be removed, otherwise they're just losing shit every turn.
Yeah, he's a pseudo blocker, he's 6k, he's easier to block than your own face.
Yeah.
Some people just choose not to run him, so whenever I do see him, I'm always pleasantly surprised.
And he's 5 costs too, so he helps me out on that odd curve.
Yeah, no, I figured that was kind of the case. I know a lot of people don't like him since he is 6k, he's a jet pistol target, but...
Yeah. I don't mind him getting jet pistol, that's 4 Dom they can't use to swing into me.
That's true.
3 Sakazuki.
3 Sakazuki, that's weird. Okay, why 3?
4 was just unnecessary.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't need 4. Every time we had 4, I just seen too much of him.
You would jam like brick on no counter?
Yeah. You have brick, and then he kind of forces you to play him, because you want to get rid of other bricks, and you don't want him in your hand as well. I just cut it down to 3, plus I got Garp at 2.
Yeah.
I'm happy with 3. I wouldn't change that. Okay. I might even take 1 out, to be honest.
Really? Okay, so you might change it, but okay.
I might just go for a 2-2 split on them too.
Okay. If you did go down on Sakazuki, would you go up on Garp?
No.
Okay.
I'm happy with Garp at 2.
Okay.
And then the main engine and win con for this deck is Big Kuzan.
God, I've never liked this card.
Yeah. He's not too great with other black leaders, I guess, because they have so many other ways to remove. But with 10 cost Kuzan out and Sakazuki,
oh yeah,
this guy essentially turns into Thanos and just starts snapping his fingers away at everything. But they can't keep anything on the board with this guy down.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like it kind of becomes like Z, where like Z's whole thing is every single turn he's destroying a 4 or less. It's 4 or less, right? No, yeah, he's 3 or less, and then Kuzan bumps him up to 8 or less every turn. So every turn he minuses 4 Don, he goes to 8 or less. But like it puts you on a clock because you're just losing Don every turn. So I guess instead you just pitch a card from your hand and get the pop instead.
Well, you're not always losing it. I think I used his ability like maybe 5 times.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess once we're with the deck profile, then I have questions for you. So let's continue.
4 Shockwave.
Okay, that's pretty standard. Yeah. Did you say I only run 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Run 4. You need to run 4.
Yeah.
And then probably what most people don't play is 4 Greater Options.
God, I love this card. I'm so happy to see that you run this card at its maximum number of copies. This card is so good to me. A 1 Don -2 and draw card. Like, and plus you can draw with no targets on the board even. You can just go for the draw, and then you draw the card before you do the minus also, so you get to know what's coming in your hand before you decide what the minus. The card's so good.
You know what's funny? So I watched that Garp video you made.
Yeah.
And I too learned what Greater Option did on that video.
Oh my god.
I didn't know you could do it before,
It's so crazy.
I didn't know you could draw before you could do the minus effect.
So you black players are topping these events and playing black decks, and you have no idea. Meanwhile, I'm over here playing Luffy. I only learned it because there was like a period where I was messing around with Garp on the simulator, and all the rules were like kind of hard coded in there for the most part. So that's when I learned it. And then when I went and did my judge test and all that, I had to like go through all the rulings, and it was in there. I was like, okay, cool, so it's correct. If it weren't for like my judge test in the sim, I would have no idea. All right, so I guess we're gonna start with the obvious question. So yeah, you said there's 8 rounds. You used the ability maybe 5 times across all of them. Why Sakazuki then? Why not just play Smoker at that point? What was the motivation?
I've never liked Smoker's ability. I don't see the point in it.
What? He's the magic number every turn for 1 Don. It's what makes Katakuri so strong in set 3.
Yeah, but Katakuri is useful, you know. You get information. Smoker, he's just -1. There's the whole black deck's built around minusing.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know though. God, because I know come set 3, I'm playing Katakuri, and 99% of it is because he goes 7k for 1 Don every turn. I mean, Smokers is more conditional because you have to get something down to 1 to actually get it. Yeah. But when you play against Red, that's not Zoro. It makes them like not play their Namis and stuff because they'll discard it as trigger instead because they don't want to give you the ability to go 7 every single turn. That's kind of powerful. I'm not gonna lie. But okay, so
I just prefer this ability. I prefer this late game ability.
Okay, so because you just have kind of like the Kobe at all times whenever you need it.
Yeah. I just like taking control of the game right at the end.
So then, what do you think are the advantages to playing Sakazuki over a later?
They never know your next move. They're never gonna know your next move. They don't know whether your deck has got Ice Age in it, and you're just gonna start popping the stuff off. They don't know.
Actually, I'm surprised. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm surprised you don't play Ice Age because with your leader ability, but like Ice Age is a card that doesn't do anything. You know? I used
to run a very heavy, event-heavy version of this, and it was way too inconsistent.
I would imagine.
You had to see the right cards all the time with that.
No, that makes sense. I know when I was messing around with Garp on the sim, I was playing. I remember me and all my friends. We saw Ice Age, and we saw it was one Dawn -5 cost. We were like, "This card's insane. This card's so good. I don't get why nobody's not playing this card." And then after playing around with that card for like 2 hours, it's like, this card's terrible, and I took it out.
Yeah. It bricks so many times.
Yeah, it's so bad. What's your matchups look like? What did you play into?
First match was Kinemon. That was a fairly easy match.
Is it usually an easy match?
That's a tough one. Sometimes it's like a steamroll, and sometimes they curve. If they curve out really well, it's a bit of a tug of war.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
Otherwise, it's usually pretty easy because they play too slow. Once I'm stalling out for that 10 Don. Once that 10 Don's hit, I'm changing the game flow.
So, because I remember
you won't.
Diego, the Gart player, he said one thing that he sees a lot of people do in the green matchup that he doesn't like is that, like when they drop the Okiku on curve, that black players will play the Kobe to pop the Okiku.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't like that because he says that he feels like it's a waste of the Kobe because he says you just let the Okiku swing into you and then you can go for it on the following turn and force them to take cards out of their hand and then you can just pop it. Do you agree with that? What's your stance on the...
That's pretty valid. I should probably do that.
Oh no, I mean it's very valid.
I definitely swing into. I definitely pop it as soon as I can.
Yeah, me too. No, because I remember that was my counterpoint. I think they just want it gone, and that's when he gave his rebuttal. And it was actually a very good point, but it's also I don't know. I just don't want to deal with Okiku going 6 into my face and tapping my blockers or whatever else I'm trying to do.
I think that's probably the bigger part for me. It's I don't want them tapping down my blocker. I always want my blockers for the end assault.
Yeah. It also makes sense too, though, for him because it's like he plays 8 counter events, so at any moment he shoots up 4K power, so he doesn't. It's hard to connect with him,
and possibly dropping something.
Okay. So what'd your round 2 look like then?
Round 2, 3, and 4 were all Zoro matchups, so I won all 3 of those.
Yeah, I expected you to.
So the first one was pretty back and forth. Second one, the guy just couldn't keep his hand. I think I had 3 triggers in life.
Okay, no, that'll do it.
Well, 2 great eruptions.
I figured.
No, he had no hand for most of the game, and I just controlled it through the fact that he had no hand.
So does that mean whenever you hit the great eruption trigger, you choose to actually use the trigger? You don't just like let the card go to hand?
Most of the times, yes.
Really?
If it's red, always. I want red to have as less cards in the hand as possible.
Because I was gonna say, Great Eruption is one of those triggers that, like, whenever I hit it, I always feel like it's one of the worst triggers, in the game. So I usually don't go for it. But against red, no, that makes a lot of sense because red's already dumping their hand on the board as it is, and especially against Zoro, because Zoro will go like Dedan search a Nami, then Nami search a Sunny, so they're always building their hand. So no, it makes sense.
Yeah, they get confident, and then when you make them trash, or when they get a little less confident.
Yeah. Round 3.
That's good.
Oh, well, actually, round 3 was also Zoro. On 4 was Zoro. Round 5.
Yeah. So that was probably I had no right winning that one. That was against a really good player too. I was backed up into the wall. Like it was an all out for me or nothing.
How did you steal it? Was it a trigger?
No, it wasn't a trigger.
Okay.
He had 3 life, 4 cards in hand. Great Eruption, pulled his Brook down to 0. 1 onto Smoker, swung 8 into him. He couldn't counter out of it, so he took the double attack.
Oh.
And then I swung into him for 2 9Ks with 1 Sakazuki and Leader.
So by the end of that means he had what, 7 cards in hand. He still couldn't counter out.
2 of the lives were events.
God.
Yeah,
That poor player.
one was a jet pistol with nothing to KO.
Yeah.
I think the other one was a brick card. It was I don't know, it might have been a white beard or something. And then his last life was a 1k counter, so he just had 9k, and I swung into it for my last hit with 9k and got the win.
Yeah.
So 7 cards in hand.
God, that sounds like what I would expect from a Kinemon player. Because I know when OP2 started, because I was playing Luffy OP1, OP2 I actually switched to Kinemon, and I can tell you like the exact moment I dropped that deck was I was playing in my locals and I had 7 cards in hand, and I had 4 cards in my hand and I had no counter, and they swung into me like 4 times with 5k, and I had to take every single hit and I just died because I never drew any counter. I died with 7 cards in my hand and no counter, and at that moment, like I threw Odin, I threw Kinemon away, and that was it. I was done with that deck.
Yeah, I started Kinemon too. I didn't like it.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan.
The next round after that was I lost to a whitebeard, boatbeard. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that'll yeah, that's fair.
It's not a really bad matchup for me. I did misplay that. I focused too much on my own game plan rather than disrupting.
Yeah.
I misread the signals of him blocking so much with a boat out. I should have taken that signal and realized that he had whitebeard. And you don't really block with boat unless you've got a whitebeard.
Yeah.
I didn't read into that, and he double whitebeard me, and I just couldn't get it.
Okay. No, that's unfortunate. Because I didn't expect it to be a bad matchup, but also I was gonna say it's one of those ones where if they do high roll you and they do have and they do get the boat out, the game could just be stolen and it'll be completely out of your control. It happens.
Yeah.
What's the next round look like? This next round is what, 6?
It was a law? Yeah.
I assume you won that, right?
Yeah, I won that one.
Okay, that makes
sense.
sense.
Law was pretty aggressive. You know, I managed to get my Kuzan out, drop his start clearing everything through leader effect, because he had one. I think I had no life. He had one last play left. He was going to go for a restand double swing with his Zoro. Unfortunately, last life was a trigger. Shockwave killed it, and he had nothing to do after that.
I see. Incredible. Stellar. I would imagine that would be favorite matchup because you just pick apart the board and keep them from getting to the shambles, and then by the time they do get a shambles off, they're already so far behind.
Round 7, I beat a whitebeard, a boatbeard, another boatbeard. He was incredibly stunned when he came across me. He was just like, I have no idea what to do. I lost every dice roll, by the way. So everybody got to pick their turn against me.
I was gonna say, like, when you sat down at the table and you showed him your leader, did he ask you what your record was?
No, he didn't.
Really? Because I know for me personally, like, if I sit at the table and my opponent flips over Sakazuki, I assume that I got down paired and I ask what the record is.
Yeah, I think one person did ask because he wasn't sure. And last round was I lost to a smoker.
Oh, you lost the mirror. Oh, that's not. No, you lost the color mirror. You lost to black.
That's one of my bad matchups though with this deck. Wow. I don't go well into smoker.
Why is that? Because it's not like you play a lot of one drops or anything.
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's he has un-KOables as well, and smokers tend to run a little bit more un-KOables. They run that free drop un-KOable smoker as well sometimes.
That's fair. Because I was gonna say I would imagine that would be favored for you since your leader actually has an ability in that matchup, and their leader's just a vanilla?
Not really, because my game plan is still out to 10 and just drop anything they put down, but anything they put down, there's a high chance that it can't be killed anyway.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I guess I would assume also if they put the 5-drop smoker on the board, it's probably kind of over for you? Yeah. No,
I misplayed against him, but even if I didn't, I was going to lose that anyway. He drew into... By turn 6 or 5, he had 3 Borsalinos and 2 un-KOable sneakers out. He top decked all the un-KOable characters.
I was gonna ask, because I kind of touched on it earlier, but I was gonna say, like, choosing to run Sakazuki over Smoker, a lot of people see it as like a very unconventional choice. And I was gonna say, because what advantages do you think it would offer you, like matchup-wise? Are there any other matchups that you think Sakazuki beats that Smoker struggles with?
He goes pretty well into everything except for I roll blue.
So when you say blue, because you like the spectrum, because like Ivankov and Dofi are two completely different decks. So
I'd say Dofi's a lot harder.
yeah, no, I would imagine. I think Dofi's the good one. I think Ivankov is the locals.
He just has sometimes maybe Mihawk that Luffy that bounces a 4. I'm not too scared of Ivankov.
So okay, so it sounds like Ivankov's easier, and then would you say Dofi's favored, or would you say you're favored against Dofi? Or is that like a 50-50 matchup?
If he mid-rolls and I mid-roll, it could probably be a 50-50. If he high-rolls and I high-roll, I think he stomps me.
I was gonna say too, because that's also another matchup where I imagine your leader ability probably wouldn't come up as often, because a lot of their bodies are just like inherently 4 for the most part, because all the warlords are 4 or 5. 4 cost 5k, and then when they get bigger, it's like it's either a 7 cost Dofi or a 9 drop Mihawk, and there isn't really anything in between that for the most part. So
it's good if all I do is just swing into their rested characters, and then I pop them with a KO character. You can't get the Dofi's hand size down. It's an uphill battle.
yeah, it's real miserable. As a Luffy player, because Dofi is Luffy's worst matchup, so I understand that 100%. Green Kid, useless Captain Mid. What does that have? Did you play that matchup at all? Did you see it? Because that deck's been on the rise recently.
I didn't play that, no. But the Kinemon player played 8-drop Kid, and it was completely irrelevant. I erased it straight away.
You said Kinemon was round 1, right?
Yeah.
Did you by chance happen to like look back at record or anything? Because I would imagine a Kinemon player playing 8-drop Kid probably didn't do too well.
No, I don't think he did.
Yeah.
Just because it was his first tournament as well.
Oh, that sucks. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, he fenced up way too hard at the start. He would not give me a life at the beginning, and then he just went straight down to 2 cards.
Okay.
And it was just getting
He was just playing on some next level strategies that the other Kinemon players aren't on yet.
Yeah, I don't know what his game plan was there, but...
So purple, I think we can already kind of assume how Kaido goes, but what is your Magellan matchup like, if you've even played it?
Yeah, I played Magellans. If I just put my unblockables and keep them alive, it's fairly easy. I just swing face. I don't ever swing at their characters. Just swing face.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say that's what I would imagine to be the case. Swing on the characters just sets you back, because all the Jailer Beasts refund him, or they ramp Don when they die. The Magellan takes 2 Don off of you when he dies. I don't know why you ever would swing into. What's your Luffy matchup like? I would imagine that you probably like it, like playing in a Luffy, or
yeah, easier than Zoro. They've got a lot of minus KO, under 3k or less.
Yeah, that's not surprising. What I am surprised though, what I do want to talk about is because like right now we were in a Whitebeard meta, and you played a lot of Whitebeard, but like recently Law has been on the rise. You said you only played against 1 Law player. Were there a lot of Laws in the top 32?
I think
And you just like dodged them?
Law 1. Our Law 1. So yeah, there were laws around. I just only seen 1. I think there was another law in the top 8.
I would imagine that you wanted to see Law probably, or were you happy to dodge Law the way that you did?
I didn't mind.
You don't mind?
I seen Law. It didn't really bother me because I played Law, so I played Law as well. So I know his ins and outs.
Okay.
I know what they want to do.
Oh wait, so you used to play Law and you ended up switching to Sakazuki?
Sakazuki is actually just my pet deck.
That's what I expected the Garp player to say.
I've been pet decking this guy for a while though. I've been pet decking him for about a month.
So what did you expect your record to be like when you went into the event?
Honestly,
yeah,
I was just, because I went in, I was like, you know what, I don't even want to try this tournament. I can't be bothered sweating and then not getting somewhere. I'm just going to take my Sakazuki and have some fun. And I was just like, if I can make top 128 with this guy, I'll be fucking over the moon.
Was your game plan just to go in there and get your participation done? And
yeah, basically, I wasn't expecting anything. I was just going in there for purely participation.
Yeah, it changes. The fact finding out this isn't your main deck kind of changes things, because I was gonna say like, come set 3, are you sticking with Sakazuki, but you don't even really.
Yeah. I'm actually going to take him into set 3.
So if you get into any more like Treasure Cups or Regionals or anything, are you going to play Sakazuki again? Do you think he's... What amount of like your placement do you think had to do with like matchup knowledge and stuff like that versus like luck? Like, do you think you could recreate this performance with Sakazuki again, or?
I'm really not sure if I can recreate that performance. It's tricky to say, because I pulled a lot of triggers that thing. And some would say that's just, it's pure luck. But I am the one who put 13 triggers in my deck.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm expecting to hit at least one trigger per game. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I know I'm hitting a trigger that game.
Do you feel that Sakazuki's like underexplored? I remember like I asked the Garp player if he felt like people were just sleeping on Garp, or how do you feel about Sakazuki? Do you think people are sleeping on him? Do you think he's earned his reputation or what?
I don't know if he's earned his reputation, but he can do things. He can play in a way that the other black decks can't, I guess. And it really depends on if you want to play like that. I guess, yeah, because with this deck you have to be very patient. Rushing with him, being aggressive is not going to work.
I would expect it to be the exact opposite. I kind of expected it to be like you could go more aggressive because you could clear blockers and other bodies whenever you kind of felt like it. So that would give you more leeway too.
No, I'm 2K'ing and counting out of any attack I can. If I get to 10 on with free life, I'd say that's a high win. So that's a high chance I'm going to win that game.
So I guess it's pretty obvious that you prefer to go second, right?
Yeah.
And you said you counter out of every attack that you can. So does that mean, because a lot of decks where like when your opponent swings at you, like say, so if you're going second, then that means they take first turn, then you go, and then they get the first swing of the game. And a lot of people would just choose to take that first attack just for the extra card in their hand. You don't.
No. If I can counter out of it, I'll counter it.
Really?
They swing for 5. I'll drop a helmet by counter.
That's so crazy to me, especially because like you popping cards on the field takes like it requires a discard. So I would think you would want the extra card to toss for the ability, or like a Sakazuki or a Kobe.
Like, you don't want to be taking life like religiously.
Oh no, I know that.
You can't. You want them to have at least a couple, like at least maybe one character on the field before you take a life. Because if you do trigger,
that's
you
fair.
want something. You don't want that to come back into your hand.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I had to like wrap my head around it because like as a red player, you know, who never has a hand, we happily take the first hit every single time to get the extra card.
Yeah. So yeah, my game plan is like I'm just trying to safely put down my Kuzan.
Would you recommend anyone out there who wants to play black to play Sakazuki, or do you think it's like a player diff thing, like skill diff, or?
I don't think you can take this deck lift and just do what I did. I don't think it's that kind of deck.
I believe you too, because you said you don't even know if you could do it again.
I've been pet decking this for a while, and I play it in a few online tournaments too. I think the best I did online tournament, box tournament, was I came 5th with it.
Because I've heard nothing. I've heard literally nothing. Because you would think a Sakazuki making top cut would be like big news, and I've heard nothing about it at all. If you didn't mention it, I would have never even known that it happened.
Like, I haven't seen anything on the actual Project Cup at all. Anyway,
did they post a deck list or anything anywhere, or just anything at all?
I haven't seen any. Not even for our top 16. Yeah.
That's so.
The whole Treasure Cup's just gone under the radar.
Because the minute you said it, because I don't think I've ever even heard of like a Sakazuki making top 32. Now, I mean, I don't play Sakazuki though, so it's not on my radar, you know, I'm not looking out for it. It's kind of crazy to think that like you could have like an achievement like that, an accomplishment of being the first top 32 Sakazuki, and you don't even know.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you are. I'm pretty sure.
Just the mention of his name just curls people's spines up. You know, they're just like,
yeah,
that's not Smoker.
You know,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because the minute I found out that you did it, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I would like to showcase this, because it's one of those things where I didn't hear anything about it, and it's one of those things also where like I don't think anybody knows that this happened. So I was like, well, this would be a great time to be able to showcase a deck like this, because I know people will tune in and people will see it, and we might be able to find out what is. Now, I will say the one thing I am kind of disappointed about is, I say, because people would tune in and we would see what a Sakazuki list looks like, whatever else has been doing wrong that you've figured out and got done right. But then when the list it looks relatively standard from what I can tell. Yeah. So I don't.
I think they're just playing it wrong. They might be just playing it wrong. Sakazuki, if like 10 cost Kuzan's not the only win con. You've got your Smoker that can win your games as well.
Yeah, because you run a full playset of each. I was gonna say, do you have any messages out there for the other Sakazuki players? But I'm pretty sure it's just you. I'm pretty sure it's literally just you.
I think you could count the Sakazuki players on your hand.
I guess, do you have anything that you would want to say for people that want to play Sakazuki? Would you advise them against it? Would you tell them to go for it? Do you have advice? Like,
if you want to play Sakazuki, don't go into it thinking it's Smoker. Don't even look at Smoker, because what they're doing is comparing the two abilities and they're expecting the same result.
Yeah.
And then they're playing like they're playing Smoker.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a completely different play style. Deck list is pretty similar, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really look into the Smoker deck lists.
No, they're very, very similar. I wonder too, though. That'll probably change with time. It's probably right now because like the black color pool is literally one set and a deck, so there isn't really much to choose from. So there isn't going to be much variety, unless someone's playing like Hina or something, which is.
Yeah, I don't think you can play that.
I don't think you can either in a red meta where people just jet pistol it.
Yeah, you want as many unkayable as you can get anyway.
It's funny, the way you describe this deck is it literally just sounds like a Z player, Zephyr. They all just try to they try to use purple to ramp to get to 10 Dawn faster, so that they can drop their Kuzan, and then just try to win off of that. And it sounds like you have the exact same game plan.
There's lots of little things you gotta do too, like Great Eruption Trigger. It's more than just trashing. You look at what they trash, you grab information. What are they trashing? A non-counter? Why, did they have a double of it?
Yeah, no, it's...
Are they dropping a 2k? Do they have a big body that has a non-counter? Are they going to drop it soon? What can I do to counter that next move? You know?
Yeah. It's funny because Great Eruption's like the one card difference between Smoker and Sakazuki, it looks like. Smoker does not play that card at all. Not even remotely. I was surprised to see that Diego, our card player, played it. Because that's a card I've always been in favor of that just nobody plays.
It's just it's just that draw that's so good.
It's so good. It's a 1 Dawn -2 draw. I don't know how that card could not be good. And Smoker just seems so boring, so I would never touch that if I was going to play black. And Sakazuki, I honestly forget he exists a lot of the time. Not...
Well, that's what, I chose him over another reason I chose, because I like playing fun decks.
Yeah.
This guy's endgame is ridiculously fun.
You know, before we close it out, any final thoughts, anything you want to say? Get off your chest, shout-outs. It's all you.
Shout out to all the local boys in Auckland. I'm only as good as they are. And I'll probably be running Sakazuki from now on. I'll see where I can take this guy.
God, if you do it again, I'm sure you'll let me know. So I guess I'll be waiting for that. Thank you for coming on the channel, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no, not a problem at all. I'm glad to have, because I'm pretty sure you're the only Sakazuki that's topped. So thank you for choosing, the small hat crew to come on. Because my whole thing is like, I don't, because I don't care too much about like getting every like Zoro, Whitebeard, and Lawless on the. For me, it's the things that I find interesting and entertaining. That's why the Garp was on here. My friend we have a Zoro list on here, but that's like my boy, so I had to do that. And then like we have a Law list, but it's like that's unconventional, that's not the standard law by any means, and he kind of started a wave, so
yeah, I did see that one. That was great.
Yeah, so I guess with that being said, then we'll go ahead and close this one out, but until next time, we'll see you guys. Take care.